Hi everybody. Today I would like to share with you the most common mistakes, the two most common mistakes that are made in double-knitted brioche. Well, I might say the two most common mistakes I make in double-knitted brioche and how to fix them. You only need a couple of tools. You need your knitting needles, of course. You need a locking stitch marker, and you'll see I've already got it in play, and I'll explain that in a moment. And a crochet hook comes in really handy. Okay, so the first mistake is a dropped stitch. And let me tell you, the second you notice a drop stitch, make sure you get that stitch marker in there, because you don't want it to run any farther than it already has. So get that stitch marker locked into that stitch so it won't go any further. Now, in most cases, you're going to notice it as you're knitting. So you're going to be knitting along and see it, and so you'll keep on knitting. Today, I am just going to slip my stitches to the mistake, because I don't want to take the time to actually knit and waste your time. Okay, so now I've got two purl stitches together and the knit stitch in between. I will warn you that in the process of doing this yarn over with these two purl stitches, you're probably going to drop one or the other of them, and you may already have, but we'll worry about that when we get to it. Right now, here you've got your stitch. Make sure you pull everything out so that you can see to that stitch, right? Just get everything nice and pulled between them so that you can see your various threads, because this is probably the trickiest part of double knitted brioche, or any brioche really. And believe me, it happens in regular brioche as well. So I'm going to put my crochet hook in there, and then I'm going to move this stitch marker out of my way so that it's not blocking views. And you're going to look for the yarn over that goes with this stitch. Now, if you look very carefully, you can see here's the yarn over that's with the stitch below. Okay, you can see that it belongs with that stitch below. And then there's the next yarn over. We want to come under it and grab it so that it's with our stitch. Now we want to find the yarn over for the stitch above. And so because I've pulled these out, you can see them laddered. Okay, pull them out so that they ladder really nice and clear. Okay, get your crochet hook under that, and then find your working yarn, the same color yarn your stitch is supposed to be in, which again, if you've got it pulled apart and laddered properly, you can see that working yarn. You're going to bring that working yarn under both of the yarn overs and through the stitch. Okay, so under both of them, not just one, but both. Then you're going to pick up the one that is the yarn over that goes with it and put it on your needle. Find the yarn over yarn for the next stitch, go under it. Find the working yarn for the next stitch, go under both yarn overs and through the stitch. Pick up the yarn over. I've got one more, I can see one more yarn over and one more stitch. So I'm going to go under that yarn over. It's getting a little tricky because it's up close to the top, okay? My needles are, you might want needle stoppers, okay? But grab that yarn over, that stitch yarn, bring it under the yarn over, under both yarn overs and through the stitch. Now pick up your yarn over. And now I'm ready to put it back on the needle, okay? Now, in some cases, in many cases, I have dropped one or the other of these yarn overs that go on either side. Don't worry about it, just pick it back up, okay? now I have laddered up. My tension might be a little goofy, but it's going to work itself out. It's not a problem. All right, and off we go. The next problem you're going to run into, and there's two versions of it, is a skipped yarn over. Now, if it's on the side where the knit stitch is being presented to you, you're going to see that yarn over nice and clear, right? It's right there. So when you get to that stitch, you need to move it to your right needle, pick up the yarn over, move it back, and now it's ready to knit. Or if you're nice and slick, you can just scoop it. Okay? It's impossible to scoop it from the left side because it's got to go, you know, you can maybe knit through it this way. I've done that, right? Rather than slipping things around. But just make sure it gets picked up and put on that needle with that stitch so that it continues. The other version of this is when it's on the purl stitch that is presenting, okay? No yarn over, right? So now where is the yarn that is supposed to be the yarn over? Is it this one or this one? Which one of these two is it? Well, what you have to do is you have to look to the next stitch over, right? You've probably already knit this one, so you can't really look at it. You want to look at that next stitch over. It's a little easier to see. And pick the yarn that is attached to that stitch. When I pick it up, see how the stitch pulls, right? And now, again, once I've found the yarn, because of the position the yarn needs to be in for the yarn over, you need to have the stitch on the right needle to pick it up. And now I've picked it up and it's with its appropriate stitch. Okay? Real simple, not as hard as it looks. Those are the common problems that you can run into. Note that my last two stitches don't have yarn overs. That was on purpose. I didn't slip them to make them neat, but I did, in fact, knit them without a yarn over on purpose. But like I said, you might find a little bit of wonkiness in your stitch gauge for a couple rows, but it's going to work itself out. It's not a problem. Okay? Any questions? Please put them in the comments below, and I will attempt to answer them for you. And happy knitting.